Now here's another example of good things happening every day here in Western New York. For nearly 30 years, the Response to Love Center has been serving those in need here in Buffalo. The driving force behind the center is Sister Mary Johnice, a nun whose encounter with a woman many called a living saint inspired her to dedicate her life to helping those less fortunate. Here's Channel 7's Ed Riley.
The Response to Love Center was started back in 1985 by a Felician nun who had a desire to do something special for the poor on Buffalo's east side. Since then, this center has grown to become a major provider of services for the community and those in need. And the director, Sister Mary Johnice, says she can only attribute the success to one thing.
It's overwhelming and it's almost remarkable. But it's all faith.
The Response to Love Center is a building full of activity as volunteers and employees work to help Buffalo's poor. But how it became a thriving community resource is a journey in faith that started when Sister Mary Johnice joined the Felician Franciscan nuns at age 18 in 1964.
And my mother says, well, what are you going to do with your life? You're a junior in high school. I says, I'm going to be a nun. And she looked at me, she said, a nun? And I thought in my heart, a nun? Do I really want to do this?
The Felicians are a teaching order, and Sister Johnice spent many years working in local Catholic schools.
When you're young, you don't know, but God is there directing you very silently.
And dealing with poor students and the elderly deeply touched her heart.
Really seeing that people had needs.
Then came a moment that would change her life and the lives of many people in Buffalo. Sister Johnice met Mother Teresa of Calcutta when she was visiting the U.S.
And if I have permission to go to Calcutta, can I join your sisters to learn? And she said no. And I said no. And I was kind of saddened by that response. And she said, I want you to go back to the east side and find your own Calcutta.
She did, but without money or a plan, it was time to pray for direction.
If it's God's work, He's going to provide.
Using the closed St. Adalbert's School building on Kosciuszko Street, Sister Johnice first opened a shelter for refugees.
My pastor, Father Joe, says to me, a shelter? He said, do you know what that entails? I said, why not? I'm young, I can do this.
Then came plans to open a food pantry.
We had no refrigerators. We had nothing.
Donations were needed, and once again, it was time to pray for help.
This big truck came from the convention center and said, are you opening up a soup kitchen? I says, well, a food pantry. He says, well, we got all this food. We don't know what to do with it. We want to give it to you.
Through the years, the center expanded, offering a dining program with help from the food bank.
So what do we have today?
Opening a thrift store with clothing that families could afford on meager incomes.
And you got a pretty shirt.
And working with the Buffalo Public Schools to offer adult education classes for those needing computer job skills and learning how to speak English as a second language.
The last one we have roads.
And though she laughs at suggestions that she is the Mother Teresa of Buffalo,
only in height.
you have to wonder, because even the day and location where she was born seemed to indicate the path her life would take.
I was born in 1946 on Lord Street, Beggar's Night. And when I think about it, how much begging I've done, over the course of years for this building.
Ed Riley, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Wonderful woman. And with the holidays just around the corner, the Response to Love Center is still in need of donations. Turkeys and canned food needed for Thanksgiving, and the center is looking for donations of new toys to help poor families at Christmas. Are there good things happening in your neighborhood? Tell us about them. Send us an email to goodthings@wkvw.com.